Hello everyone, and welcome back to another anime episode review. I am The Rat, and this is The Rat's Nest. Today, we have joined together once again to discuss a fine episode, if I do say so myself. The Eminence in Shadow, Season 2, Episode 3, episode title something. I don't know. it's the end of the vampire arc. This was a very good episode. I'd say it was more serious, kind of, than others almost. You still got some classic. I don't know. I'm gonna walk back that statement. I'm gonna immediately walk back my statement and say no. It felt more serious than others, but of course then Sid came in and it just messed everything up there. Lots and lots of good stuff happening here. I don't know. Yeah, you could say 3 episodes is a little bit fast for the vampire arc. And I mean, I guess certainly you could have taken more time, but also I'm not mad about the pacing. That's also partially because we're getting into my favorite section of Eminence in Shadow. Next arc is my favorite arc of Eminence in Shadow, but there was a lot to like about this one. We got to see Best Girl again. Aurora's back. That's awesome. But there's a lot to go over. So, starting off with what I missed last episode. I did not mention how Shadow... what do you even call it? What do you even call it, what he did to Crimson? Disrespected. I think that disrespected is a fine enough verb. Vowel? It's not a vowel. Vowels are letters. I'm smart. He disrespected Crimson instead. He disrespected me more at the beginning of this episode. He was like, well, I thought the final boss would be up here, but I guess not. It's not him. It's not him. Crimson on the same level as like the sacrifice guy. Oh. I love Sid so much. Disrespect him. He's like, okay, well, I guess I'll go ahead and get the gold. I guess this is more like a group event thing. Bro was incorrect. He ended up showing up fashionably late, but late again. Against his own will, but he did. He goes to get the gold, and then the vampire lady is waking up. That's kind of moves the plot forward. Right here, we also got the opening and the ending, which I did not talk about last time, but I wanted to say Grayscale Dominator has officially passed highest. I do enjoy it more than highest. Maybe that's a hot take. I don't know. I don't know what the general consensus is, but I like it more than highest. It took a while for highest to grow on me whenever I first heard it. Grayscale Dominator grew on me pretty quick. It's been on repeat. It's a goodie. It's a really good song. And the ending is fun as well. I could tell you, I didn't mention it last episode. I meant to. I did not expect like a funky ska beat, like fourth wave ska or whatever. I don't know waves of ska. I just listen to Streetlight Manifesto. I did not expect like a funky ska beat, but obviously we're back with the images of the various girls of the Eminence in Shadow, just chilling out, living their best lives. It'll be interesting to see if we have a unique one each episode or if it will cycle through again like it did last season. I hope we get a unique one. It's been nice to see some of the side characters get some love. I hope that we get one of Sid. That would be awesome. But it's a fun ending. I will say the Tetris one kind of bugged me this episode because there was that hole that it left, and I was like, okay, I get it, like I understand, but also that really bugs me. just fill it. Oh my gosh. Okay, that's entirely beside the point. But we get into the rest of the episode. Claire and Mary come up. Claire gets absolutely violated, almost killed, and then we see Shadow Garden come in. That was fun. Always fun to see Rose and her little minor appearance here. Obviously, she's going to get more to do at the end of the season. Not the end of the season, the post-midpoint of the season. We're at least getting to the Oriana Kingdom arc. I'm pretty sure they're going to go through the Isekai arc, which kind of sucks. But like, I wish they would spend more time on that almost. But it's not terrible pacing. I'll just have to see how they do. I was very happy with how they've adapted the vampire arc so far. But with Claire, right? Obviously, she's dead. Rest in piss, bozo. We see kind of... I forgot. One of the most unserious... Oh my gosh, did I just use the word unserious? I hate that word. One of the best parts was, Eminence in Shadow without Sid. It's typically a pretty serious series, right? It's typically pretty cut and dry, okay, funny fantasy story, whatever, but a little bit edgy. But when there's comedic elements that don't involve Sid, it's always pretty good. Like whenever Beta and Shadow Guard members are fighting Elizabeth, and Mary's like, you guys are strong, but it's no use. Elizabeth, she's always been a late riser due to iron deficiency. Like, I get it. It makes sense in universe. It's just... There's something inherently humorous about imagining like a big progenitor vampire. A big progenitor vampire that just has iron deficiency. And I get it. It makes sense in universe, but it still just came out of nowhere. I guess it's been a while since I read the light novel for this. There was some stuff that I forgot. I don't know if they added it. They probably didn't, and I just don't remember it. But it's fun to see. And then she uses her powers, right? And she starts to reactivate the possession in the girls, and that's also a cool plot point. Obviously, it affects Claire the most. It's kind of the divergence between the vampire genes and blood and then the demonic blood through Aurora. Which I admittedly don't know the most about that split. I don't know if it's been really elaborated on beyond this. I could be completely wrong. Could be talked about in volume 5 or 6. I wouldn't know. That's not on me to know. But it was cool to see that, and it was cool to see Beta's hand just explode. Trolled. Idiot. I think Claire, obviously her blood is like the perfect mix, but she can't control it. I've always really liked this point. Then obviously she has the meeting with Aurora in the schoolroom. That was a fun little meeting, right? Good to see Aurora back. Aurora, best girl after Marie, I should say. Marie. There's a slight difference, but it is a difference. Aurora, best girl. Obviously kind of the beginnings of Claire's bigger involvement. I've always really loved the fact that it's not just Sid, like, being able to be, funny Eminence and Shadow, right? Sid's going to be extremely powerful. But I really like the fact that Claire herself is also extremely powerful. She just, to say, doesn't take advantage of it because she's still strong by the world standards, but she's not like Sid strong, and no one is ever going to get to be Sid strong. But it's still cool to see her like get her own special things, right? To see her be like this perfect mix, this perfect inhabitant for vampire blood and possessed blood. Like, that's cool. And then obviously Aurora takes over her body, and that's always fun. It's a fun scene. The funnest part of it was, though, however, right? Funny, back and forth. The animation was really, really good, especially for the fights. I really, really enjoyed it. Loved the animation has been extremely solid. Very happy with how it's been adapted, guys. But I completely forgot. I don't know if it was in the light novel or not, because I feel like, I want to say that I wouldn't forget that detail, but also like I can't say for certain that I would remember it either. She was gonna use the I am all range atomic. Oh my gosh. And Beta was like, huh? Huh? Or I was like, oh, well, can't you do it? She was just casually going to copy a magic. We don't have much to go off of in terms of Aurora power scaling, right? She's probably the strongest character in the series other than Sid. That's probably very objective, right? She is the strongest character in the series other than Sid. So for her to be able to just use I am all range atomic, obviously she wasn't, because Claire's body couldn't handle it. But the fact that like Aurora herself knew how to use it is like, okay, right? What kind of tricks and goofs and gaffes is she gonna play whenever her and Sid fight for like realsies at the end of the series? Probably. I don't know how the series is gonna end. Throw an absolute curveball. Look, I can't tell you what Daisuke Aizawa is cooking with this series. Bro just has an idea, runs with it for a volume, and then never touches it again. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. I wish we'd get more development on certain characters, but whatever. That's my personal preferences leaking in, but it's fun to see Aurora use that. That could be in the light novel, that could not be in the light novel, right? I can't remember, honestly. That's bad on my end. Like, I feel like that's something I would remember, though. Like, that's the weirdest part. Is it just like, it just feels Like I wouldn't forget that. I don't know. I've spent too long on this point. Then obviously Sid comes back. Bro starts off on the script. Then he breaks it. Devastating that he broke the script. The moon is red. The frenzy has begun. Sadly, he did break it because obviously they're fending off. This is where we get one of my favorite Eminence and Shadow bits, where Sid is obviously has the gold in his cloak. And I like the anime's approach of like show, don't tell, but also I feel like it would be kind of, I mean, I don't know. It was pretty obvious what was going on, but also I'm biased because like I know what was going on. So like knowing what was going on, I was like, yeah, no, that makes complete sense. He's standing there with all the gold absorbed into his cloak. And he can't move because it's like, so I will say they didn't really illustrate that point. The fact that he couldn't move because the gold was like he wasn't as agile with all the gold in his suit. So that's why he couldn't move. They didn't really get that point exactly. But it was still fun to see. And then obviously Beta being like, he's protecting us. And he's like, I can't afford to lose a single one. Classic. It's a classic. It never gets old. It never gets old, no matter how many times. The misunderstandings never get old. But then obviously it's time for Sid to finish business. He goes up. Him and Elizabeth should kiss. Juggernaut has done nothing. Bro just gets thrown around. Bro's at the end, he's like, that Shadow Guard. Maybe I should try fighting them. Ooh, careful what you wish for, bud. Yukime's just sitting on the side commentating too, but obviously the focus is on Sid versus Elizabeth, and he's like, all right, time to end this. And she's like, could I at least have your name? Bro does not give her his name. Bro, she thinks that his name is Recovery Atomic because he goes, I am Recovery Atomic. And obviously heals everyone in the city, right? All the people are back, and he later explains, like, oh, it's all just mana overflow. It's easy enough to heal. Dude. I love the Eminence and Shadow because he can pull the stupidest powers for Sid. Bro literally just changes up the Flash Atomic formula like for every major fight, and it's hilarious every time because he can just pull out whatever. I am Atomic. I am the all-range Atomic. Then the fake-out Atomic. Then I am Recovery Atomic. Bro can just do whatever he wants. The Eminence and Shadow is written in such a way that Sid could pull out the I am the beat Goku Atomic, and he'd win. He'd beat Goku. It would absolutely beat Goku. And then all of us fans would be like, yeah, no, of course he could do that this entire time. Just makes sense. It just makes absolute sense that he'd be able to do. What's wrong with him having the I am beat Goku Atomic? He heals everyone. Yippee-doo. Everyone's healed. Shadow Garden people leave. Arc wraps up. Mary is still alive. She was healed from her bloodlust or whatever it was. Can't remember the details. I will say maybe the episode could have gone more into detail on like the ending and stuff, and specifically one scene. So then we get to see Mary and Claire say goodbye, and we get to see Sid be funny like, oh, haha, because Claire's like, I have a power in my left hand, and she's like a Chinibio about it, and it's good. And Sid's like, yeah, I've been there. She tells him about it, and he's like, don't worry, no matter what path you go down, I'll always be right behind you. Oh, bro is so oblivious. So good. Oh, so good. So good. But we do see Mary staring at the train that's sleeping with him. Right. And we see him give his little speech at the end that was so stupid. So good. So good, but so stupid. The one thing I am sad that they cut is like the direct, it's basically indirect confirmation, right? Where it's like, oh, she's looking at the train. But I always liked seeing Elizabeth specifically look at Sid, because it's the confirmation that, oh yeah, Elizabeth knows who Sid is. I mean, Elizabeth is a top tier in the verse. She scales really, really high, I'd say. Obviously, we don't know the highest scale of the Cult of Diablos just yet, but she scales pretty darn high into the universe's Elizabeth character. Now, like highest tier, no, she's not on Sid and Aurora's level, but no one else is. But she's up there, and so I always liked that she could tell, like, who Sid was, and like tell that he was Shadow. I always thought that was really cool. So I am a little disappointed in that we didn't strictly get to say, because I think it happened on like the street in the light novel, maybe in the manga too. But we got to see it more clearly, and so I was a little, because that's a scene that I really really like in Eminence and Shadow. So I was a little bit disappointed, but made up for it with all the Sid and Claire stuff. It's good. It's very, very good. Post-credit scene was fun. Obviously teasing next arc with Yukime. I can't wait. Like I've said, it's my favorite arc in the Eminence and Shadow. The one scene I'm looking forward specifically to, I can't wait. It's gonna be really, and like, I don't even, obviously it's my favorite bit in the Eminence and Shadow. It's the most stupidly convoluted thing that Sid accidentally does, and everyone else just convinces themselves that it's absolute, and it's just, it works out so perfectly unintended. It's so good, just the way that it's written. But like, it's also has genuine character moments for like everyone involved, other than Sid. That's not a detractor. That Sid doesn't have, and Sid doesn't need serious. If Sid had a serious character moment, that'd be kind of cringe. Nah, what you call it? But getting to see the serious character moments, we'll talk about that when the anime gets there. I genuinely really really love it. Vampire arc, very fun. Really really enjoyed the adaptation of it. Obviously some great development for Claire. Fun to see Rose kind of as like a grunt in Shadow Garden. Obviously we're going to get to see more of her later. This was just a really fun arc with some really fun fights and some really fun moments, and I thoroughly enjoyed my time. Eminence and Shadow stays on its throne as peak fiction. What can I say? Beats mid-show any day of the week. I dislike mid-show so much. Speaking of mid-show, be sure to subscribe, because this Saturday I have a video essay talking about how the prologue of Mushoku Tensei sets the stage for the perfect isekai. So be sure to subscribe and be ready for that. And with all that said, thank you all for watching. If you're this far in the video, then obviously there is something you like, so make sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment telling me what your favorite part of not just this episode, but also the vampire arc has been. I guess Lawless City arc? I don't know. Maybe that's what people, I don't know. I'm going to call it the vampire arc. I'm going to call the next one the John Smith arc, I guess. John Smith arc. Thank you all for watching. I hope that you all enjoy, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.